Welcome back, A-listers. This is the week of July 12th. I'm Francisco,
I'm Andres.
and this is Put It on the List. Today, we deep dive into two of the best shows of the year so far, Stranger Things Season 4 and The Boys Season 3.
And we are going to start today with The Boys.
Sweet.
All right, man. So, full spoilers, obviously, for those listening. We're just going to get into it. If you haven't seen it, it's on Prime. Season 3. All right. Overall thoughts, man.
Overall thoughts. I wish I could pump this shit straight into my veins and just like fucking, and just like, please don't turn it off. Keep that drip going, and I want to ride this out, baby. That's how I want to be. That's what man. This shit is so good. I liked it.
You enjoyed it.
I did.
Wow. All right.
That's how we're gonna start, bro. I love the show.
Yeah. I was a little on the fence from season 2, but season 2 ended well. But season 3 just came out swinging, and they put it like into like fifth gear, and they did not let off. Like
They were fucking redlining that shit the whole time.
So impressed. I'll start with the hot take though. One thing I was like, is it because the show was so damn good? The end kind of felt a little anticlimactic to me. Like I expected.
I get your feeling. I was watching it, and I had like in the back of my head, like, is this it kind of question? And but it's like, what else would it be? I'm like, this is exactly what was supposed to happen, kind of thing. Like when Heisenberg dies at the end of fucking Breaking Bad. Spoiler alert, you haven't seen it 10 years ago. Whatever. Dude, that's exactly what was supposed to happen. He's supposed to die. And like with this, I mean, I don't know what they could have done, but they needed, the show's not at the end. So they needed to keep going.
Yeah, this is just another chapter. And I'm like, all right. And at the end, I mean, fuck, I'll just start at the end. Like, they put homie back into sleep, his little winter soldier fucking cryo chamber. Yeah. Like, all right, cool. I guess they proved they couldn't kill him, so that's the best thing they could do.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude was like a nuclear bomb, and he wouldn't die in his own nuclear bombness. So why would they?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Slit his throat?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I guess that makes sense. And then to be continued, if anything, with that guy. Homelander, they probably weren't gonna kill him because he's the bread and butter. I was kind of expecting Homelander to go in a different direction, maybe like he was gonna leave Seven and do his thing, which he kind of is. Like I thought they were gonna legit destroy the whole Vought Tower, and they did it. I thought they were gonna. I didn't think they were gonna do what they did with Maeve, and then what they blow her. I'm like, wow, she like fucking got fucked up, and then she kind of like sacrificed herself, only to find out what happened to her later. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird choice, I guess, but
I thought it was weird at first too, but I realized like she wants to kill Homelander because she wants to be free.
Yeah.
But by her almost dying, but then barely surviving at the very end to be someone with no powers, she kind of was free. So she kind of achieved her goal in a way.
Yeah.
Because she just wanted to like just live her life. Like she was sick of it all. And she got that. Like, that's cool. I thought that was cool. She's had an arc as a character.
Yeah. You know what? But I think they left it a little open because, man, Homelander's pretty good at finding people. That fool just shows up. Next thing you know, he just glides in and like, it's me, death, so I don't know how free I would feel if I was her, knowing how
I would
evil.
Get some surgery.
Yeah.
He probably knows what she smells like, and he could probably smell her from like a couple states away.
Or just to like try to focus on the sound of her voice and like try to track her, I'm like dude.
But if he thinks she's dead, maybe he won't try to bother. But who knows?
Dude, Homelander doesn't trust anything. That guy is like super paranoid.
Not an okay guy.
No.
And I was like, are they? And I kind of didn't like the. It felt like anticlimactic. They fought with Homelander, and at the end, he just kind of like walks off. And that was like it. And I was like, that's it. Like they're
I
not gonna like chop an arm off or something.
Yeah, I have a take on that. I think is that because the son chose him
Yeah,
is because that was his way of winning. Like he
yeah,
beat this
yeah,
round whatever 2 or 3
yeah.
for Homelander versus the Butcher. Butcher
Yeah.
lost that round. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh
that
yeah.
shit hurt because Butcher had realized that he can't be the asshole that he is. He has to change, bro, because people aren't just gonna fall in line because you're the loudest one or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have to
I
like
think yeah.
actually give something up.
I think for this season, Butcher is the big loser, man. Like
Yeah,
he needs to learn. He has to change, and he's struggling to do that. And it's yeah. I mean, he lost. He lost the kid. He
yeah,
lost Homelander. He because he refused to stop taking V.
yeah. I thought he
He's
was gonna be
now.
kind of like in a coma for a while. I was surprised that they showed him right back up. Because his
Yeah.
brain was a mush or whatever.
But now they're saying he's got less than what 6 months to
Oh
live.
yeah,
So now he's got like if he wants to kind of finish any kind of mission, like
yeah.
now's the time. But I'll say predictions for that for afterwards. We'll have some predictions and some thoughts on what's
Okay,
going to go forward.
all right.
Um, Overall, the season was fantastic.
Yeah,
The level of shock was like as high as ever.
yeah.
Um, so I mean, I'll start with like well, the shock we already talked about. Not super in depth. We were trying to be very vague, but the termite scene, I think we
Yeah.
both agree that I had that as like my number one crazy moment of the entire show. The fact that
So,
they, yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go continue your
The
thought.
fact that they conceived that idea and pulled it off the way they did, and I had to rewind it like at least once to like, did they just do that? Like I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then I was like in such shock. It took me a second to like register what the hell did I just witnessed, and then I couldn't stop laughing. I had to pause it because I had to like I was dying. Like that shit was so damn funny. Like, and I didn't see it coming. But go ahead.
Yeah. For me, I think it was that was definitely a shocker, and it was a tone setter. It was a tone setter. So
Uh huh.
you know what I'm saying? Like you walk in because I remember turning it on. Like, oh, I wonder if because season 2 started off kind of slow,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, is it gonna be like that? First 3 episodes, they're just gonna like hold your hand into the season. But they said no, fuck you. We're gonna just like blow this fucking
Dude,
guy up.
within the first 10 minutes of the first episode, and you're just
Yeah,
like, what's happening? And they just go right, and then that's where they put the foot on the gas, and they didn't stop. They're just like, holy shit.
I had to go. I had to change my whole viewing strategy. I'm like, I had to fucking rearrange some things because nobody can be up or in the house while I'm watching this shit.
You gotta have no witnesses.
Yeah.
No witnesses.
Daddy's not watching that, baby. Don't worry about that. But so it was
I think
just
we're I think we're both on some kind of watch list now because we both watched the whole thing.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
some government watches out there. Okay, future serial killers.
yeah, dude. So anyways, that was definitely on my top 3 moments because of the tone setting and just the shock and awe value of it. You're like,
Yeah.
what are they doing that? Are they doing that? Like, and they're walking you through it like, oh, I want you inside me. You're like, they gonna do that? And then
And
like,
then they do the other thing. I'm like, wait, what's
what?
happening?
Yeah, it's crazy,
Dude.
dude. It's so crazy.
So yeah, the termite scene is one of my most shocking moments. Another
Yeah,
that was like a shocking moment slash top moment because, like you said, it set the tone for the whole season. They
yeah,
needed to like after the second season, where I was on the ropes with them, they like pulled me right back in.
yeah. No, that's
So
all my
that was
top moments. Yeah,
another top slash shocking moment for me was I don't even know why I just really like this moment when A Train kind of he murdered a soup because
yeah,
he was so pissed off what happened to like his brother. Like he's finally coming around to like shit, we're kind of the bad guys here. And
yeah.
there was so many like I loved how they brought in a lot of modern political climate stuff into this season like
Oh
they've never
yeah,
done before. And I want to get into that in a little bit. But when A Train realizes I forgot what the guy's name was like the blue some
oh
shit or other.
yeah,
That
yeah.
guy was a piece of shit. They're all pieces of shit.
Bro, that guy was a huge piece of shit.
So then when A Train finally like is had it at that point, he literally just saw his moment and he risked his own life. He was probably gonna die. at that point, but he decided to grab the dude by his leg and drag him for miles, running like hundreds of miles an hour. So he just
Yeah.
basically just turned the dude into sandpaper within like a couple seconds. I did not see that coming
Yeah.
at all. And the fact that they pulled it off as good as they did, and the fact that he did, I was like, holy shit. And then that guy was, there's nothing left of that guy. Like he
No.
sandpapered him to death. And
Yeah.
that was shocking at the same time for the A Train to actually do that. And to see that done, I was like, oh my God. And that was during the Hero Gasm episode, which should have been
Yeah.
the most shocking of all, but it wasn't.
No, yeah. Dude, it
Man,
was crazy. No, that was a crazy death. Yeah, for sure. Um I'm trying to remember his name. But yeah, man, it just it kind of puts into perspective how someone like A Train that has
yeah,
never, like in the I think in the previous episode the girl was like, yeah, you only care about shit when it affects you. Like you had no problem when you were doing this shit to other people, but because this
yeah,
guy did it to you, now
yeah,
all of a sudden it's a fucking problem. Like,
yeah,
and it's perspective, and he has none. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah. They're just in this cloud of this giant tower, literally, and
yeah,
they just don't understand how the world works.
yeah,
And
that's
so
what's
like
shocking.
that scene between him and Huey, where he actually like was like
Sincere,
vulnerable. Yeah, I was like, holy shit, that was good.
yeah. But Huey didn't know how to take that either, because he's already guns blazing, ready to be like, "All right, bitch, I'm on your word." I'm like, like I'm all V'd
Like,
up,
yeah, let's
and
go.
yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry," and you're like, "What?" And Huey didn't know how to accept that, and it took
No,
a lot for Huey to change because he was a little, addicty, like an addict, like wanting to get that fix and that, rush of that power because
yeah,
he's the one that never has power. You know what I'm
no.
saying?
He's
He's always the
surrounded
butt
by
of the
people
joke.
who are powerful. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that was a really cool character arc for
yeah,
him too. Like, damn. And then
yeah,
there's of course there's consequence that Butcher is now facing. Huey might face a little bit, but
yeah,
man, like I like the fact that there is consequence for like the shit that they choose.
yeah,
Um, I was a little iffy on the arc for Frenchie.
yeah,
Like, did that side story really need to be made? Like, I didn't understand what like the big takeaway from that would be versus it's like like we are kind of like fucked up on the inside no matter what. Like, I don't know,
yeah.
man.
I get what you're saying. I just think it was a little bit spaced out weird. Like it took a
Yeah,
long time to get there,
yeah,
and then once they got there, he spiraled out pretty fast.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And then he was out of it pretty fast. So I feel like they should have taken some of that time in the beginning to
yeah,
get them to spiral out and take longer to get him out. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
what
yeah.
she do?
Because
She just slapped him, and she's like, "He's out of it. He's good." You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a little
yeah,
weird spacing because they showed her his old boss a couple times
yeah,
before he even did anything, and it
yeah.
was like, okay, what's going on with this?
They
And next,
dragged it out too long.
yeah, and so they would have spaced it out a little bit, just a little timing thing, but I think you did know it because you did need it because he needed to find his own voice instead of just being the butcher's lapdog the whole time,
Yeah,
so it was kind of cool to see him stand up and being all happy, like, yeah, and that was cool.
and I like his the actor is awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I gotta learn his name one of these days.
Yeah. I don't know
Um,
anybody's name. For me, like another, since we're talking about some of these other characters, another uh top moment was just anything with Mother's Milk, dude. That guy fucking killed it this season.
yeah,
Mother's Milk, man. That guy did, like, the moment was when he told his backstory of when
yeah,
he was killed and stuff like that. And I just love the whole, like, finally we get
yeah,
something deeper than them hating Soups. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, why do you hate Soups? I mean, we know Butcher and Huey, but finally we get Mother's Milk and his backstory, and I love how they did it, and the actor was amazing.
And
So
by giving him that little backstory, provided him like a little bit of juice the entire season
yeah,
to go to that next level for like his character and like the acting. Man, it was great. Yeah,
yeah, and like, oh shit, is he gonna kill him now? Is he gonna go for it now? And
and he kind of became like the moral backbone
yeah,
of like the team and the show for the most part.
yeah, And I love how fearless he is. He gives zero fucks who you are. He's
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, are you on V now, bitch? If I pull the trigger, what would happen? You know, when he got the butcher in the neck and stuff.
Not just that, but he's also like a dad, and he realizes
Yeah,
like he is so imperfect, and he's trying to get better and change, and he's trying to be protective, but sometimes he's overprotective.
yeah,
He's very flawed, but he has a
yeah,
big heart.
yeah. So Mother's Milk, man, I love this. His whole story arc, the whole season, and how they developed him and stuff. So sometimes in a ensemble show like this, it's hard to
Oh yeah,
give characters the light they
yeah,
need
yeah.
to grow, and they
Oh
did
yeah,
it with this season. And it's so crazy that a show like The Boys, where it's got all this, you know, crazy, shocking stuff, has
yeah,
still these
and
fundamental storytelling ability
yeah.
of expanding these characters. This is great.
It's that balance they did this season is so impressive, and I pray to the high heavens that they continue for that season 4. Because man, like I can't season 4 can't get here soon enough.
Yeah.
And with the whole mother's milk thing, I'm gonna go shout out to Anthony Starr. We've talked about him several times
Oh yeah.
as Homelander. All right, if Anthony Starr does not get nominated for an Emmy, we riot.
Yeah.
Riot.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man! Like in one scene, in one shot, giving the look from like sad guy to serial killer to
Yeah.
mass murder to like feel sorry and insecure for myself. I'm like, dude, like the rooftop scene, and like there's so many scenes where this guy is just coming in here like next level.
Yeah. Dude, he's amazing. And he he's so emotive with his face. You know, like
Dude, yeah, his
they
eyes.
close up. They have so many close ups of his face, and like you feel his anger, his pain, his sadness, his craziness. You're like, oh shit, he's in crazy town right now. Like that scene with Black Noir, man, dude.
And how he smiles, like his smile can go in 10 different ways. You're like,
Yeah,
oh my god, that's like the murderer smile.
yeah.
Like, oh
Is that the
shit.
evil smile? Oh shit. Is that what Darth Vader looks underneath the fucking helmet? You know, like, dude, it was just crazy. So yeah, Anthony Starr, man, he kudos. He did a great job.
Dude, yeah, it's awesome. Let's talk about the very end, and let's get into some predictions. Actually, I have one more top thing that because of the show is being bananas that it is, the fucking musical number in the hospital
Oh yeah,
that caught me by I was I had to rewind. I'm like, wait a minute, what? It was
yeah,
so like how they incorporate music into this season, and then how
yeah,
it kind of accumulates to this musical number in the hospital. And it's so well done, like the colors and the choreography, and like, and it's all set like in a hospital, like
yeah,
going down the hallway, a reception desk, like a cafeteria,
yeah.
mops and like orderlies. I'm like, what the shit? But it was so well done,
Super elaborate.
dude. Like that was
That's like
shout out, like
some pinnacle Boz Lerman shit right there.
dude, and like the amount of work that had to go into that one sequence.
Yeah,
Like I guarantee you, there's probably a ton of arguments saying we have to cut it because it's going to take too long and cost too much just for this one moment. So someone somewhere fought for it and made it happen, and they did the right thing. Like
well,
I
and then also look, it wasn't even like your top four characters. You know what I'm saying? It was like
yeah,
your secondary characters. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And they still did
yeah,
it. I heard somewhere where Amazon stopped giving them notes. That's why they went balls out this season. They're like with
good,
Hero Gasm and like the musical number. And like another thing like that was when Black Noir started getting a little cartoon buddies and shit like that.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah, it was another moment like, holy shit. It was so cool. And they were like all had their own little attitude and like, yeah, man, like let's do this and that. And their cartoonish ways. It was funny. Yeah, it was
dude.
funny.
Yeah, it's never a dull moment. I loved it.
Yeah. One more moment I have
Yeah,
before we move on is dude, the Soldier Boy and Homelander face offs. Wow, and the intensity of that was so good. Like specifically, I mean, the first time they're in the same room, you're like, oh shit, it's about to be on. But then the way that the second in the finale when they meet up again, and he's like, I'm your son, and this and that, and Homelander and Soldier Boy just kind of like undresses him, you know, just be like, you're such a weak bitch. And like that,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And then Homelander's like, weak? Like he's so confused because he knows everybody fears him. I'm
Yeah.
like, how can you call me weak when everybody's scared the shit of me? You know what I'm saying? So that dynamic right there was amazing to me. And Jensen Ackles, man, that guy came to play, dude. And
Dude. Yeah.
and and I think because the showrunner is the same showrunner that was Supernatural.
Yeah, I read that
And
before the season started. I'm
yeah,
like, I don't really know anything about it, but I'm like, cool.
2 points. Of course, he knows talent when he sees it, so he brought Jensen Ackles over. And
Mm-hmm.
the other point is like, hey, that guy knows what he's doing, bro. He had one show on for like 15 years. You know what I'm saying? So they had like over 300-hour-long episodes of one
Wow.
show.
Yeah.
So that guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to tell a story, and I'm kind of glad that now that they're doing something different. And I put in some hours. I didn't go the whole road, the whole Supernatural road, but I put in some work there on that train, and so I'm appreciating this side of it too.
You know what's funny is I remember every year for like probably like a decade seeing like supernatural shit at the Comic Con.
Yeah,
And I was like, I don't know what it is, but that's hanging strong. Like
yeah,
10 years later, it's like, it's
yeah,
everywhere still. Like, I don't know anything about it, but
yeah,
clearly people love it and it's successful. I'm like, good for it. Cool.
yeah, yeah, man. Jensen Ackles, man. I hope they bring him. I hope he wakes up, man. That's my
We'll see.
prediction. My
We'll see
hope.
what happens. We'll see. So that's all right. So getting to the very end, the one thing I was like kind of shocked at the same time, like it hit home. I was like, man, like it's almost like scary. Like the amount of extremists that they were featuring, like this episode, like politically on like the spectrum of like people just fighting in the streets over their views and their thoughts and how they're like fake this, fake that. You're lying. You're this is not lying. We believe this person. We think this person. And it's just crowds of people just like hating each other. I'm like, oh man, that kind of hit home. And I kind of like, I didn't really like. I liked it, but at the same time, that shit is scary. Like the division, like in society, that to me was like just as scary as fucking Homelander. And seeing like these crazy people always wanting to kill each other just because, like they have different thoughts. You know what I mean? Like that shit was scary. And like seeing at the very end where Homelander introduces his son, and a dude like throws like a bottle or something, and Homelander murders him in front of hundreds of people, and there was just a swash of silence, and you're like, do these people now realize like they're worshiping a murdering god? And instead of like shock and fear, after a moment, they all start clapping and like getting excited and like, oh my god, we've reached like full peak crazy capacity with like a whole level of extremists that Butcher and the guys are gonna have to fight with next season. Like that shit is scary. Like the world's scary enough already with all the crazy shit that's happened like in the last couple of weeks. I'm like fucking crazy people, and now we have mobs of crazy people being featured in the show. I'm like, God damn, that's scary shit to me. So hopefully, we need some heroes. We need some heroes. That's all I got to say with that shit.
Yeah. Well, they're pulling like I can't count how many things they pull straight from the headlines. You know what I'm
Dude.
saying? It's like this that you're talking about January 6th. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's directly it. And you
Yeah.
know what's and it's crazy. It's like they made it even touch even more home because like one of the protesters was the
The stepfather,
the stepfather to
which
mother.
was like, which was a great, I don't know, little touch. You're like,
Yeah,
God, that shit is like right there, right in their face. That shit is
yeah,
like hitting home for like
yeah,
the boys.
yeah. So it's just it was crazy too. And at first I'm like, I love how because he did it, the stepdad did it, and then the son did it at the end, where he kind of like they had that uh flat expression on their face, but slowly the stepdad kind of like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then the son did the same thing where at first he had like no expression on his face, and then at the end he kind of had a little like, oh yeah, I kind of like this kind of smile.
Yeah.
So there goes the evil
It's
side, bro. He went to the
man,
dark
it's like
side.
they're showing like they finally did something where I was curious if they'd ever do it, like where a character would have like just murder in front of like hundreds of people and zero consequence for like a terrible action,
Yeah,
and it's like acceptable like in society now. Like they've gone to like the dark place. Wow.
And did
But
you
yeah, that
see Homelander's reaction? Because at first he's like,
smiled.
"Oh shit," he went like, "Oh shit, I fucked up," you know.
Yeah, he
And
realized he can't
then,
because he's fantasized about doing that in the past. In
yeah,
season 2, I think it was. You're like, holy shit.
and then he started getting cheered, and he's like, "Yeah," he's all happy and stuff. Dude, it's so crazy, man. This show
Yeah,
is so good, dude, so good.
so that was a frightening end. Like, man.
Yeah,
So yeah, so but prediction wise, shifting it up a little bit. I Nor looked like he was dead, but Nor is also basically Wolverine. And if
yeah,
you like have Wolverine's guts hanging out, I don't think Nor's dead. I think he's somewhere doing his thing,
yeah,
slowly recovering.
yeah.
That was like not a surprise when that happened. Um, Stormfront. This is the one. Maybe this is my other hot take. She died off screen, and she's like part of an extremist movement, and she's powerful. Bot's evil. Like I would guess Stormfront is alive someplace.
Yeah. And it's
So because
interesting because they made sure that they put that poster where you could read it in the one of
yeah,
the rants. And so it kind of
exactly.
like it plants the seed in your head and like,
Yeah, of like the white power, other extremists that are trying to
yeah.
they're trying
Or
to attach themselves.
yeah, and saying don't forget about me.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, I think she's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Um, I had a couple other predictions. Butcher will probably get cured, miracle, some shit or other in the next season. Um, I think that's not. I mean, too easy.
Yeah.
Your main character, you're gonna keep him around. You're gonna find a miracle cure. Drink this, okay, you're fine.
Yeah. I mean
Um,
they get renewed they got renewed for a couple seasons, right?
yeah, so he's gonna be all right. And then the last one, the typical one is I think the boys are now gonna have to team up with Gus. I always forget his name in the show. But, Gus
He
from
kind of
Breaking Bad.
disappeared, yeah.
Yeah, so I think
Giancarlo Esposito.
yeah, he's gonna I forgot his character's name, I mean.
Oh.
But they're gonna have to team up with him to try to take down Homelander because Homelander is at this point completely out of control. Like he's already been out of control, but now it's like further out of control.
Yeah, but so is his stepdaughter. Like or the congresswoman, she's gonna be running
Yeah,
for vice president. So they're
I
all
think
together.
that's a great that's gonna be a dude, they set up plenty of great stuff for the next season.
Yeah.
And like her another shout out, this scene was like talk about shocking. Her scene in the alley when she's trying to blow the dude's head up and they're like, he knows, hey, don't keep her from looking at me. Stop having her look at me. And he's like keeping her away. And finally she like looks at him and starts exploding his head from different angles. You're like, oh my God. Like that was pretty shocking. Like that
Yeah.
was a fucking scene.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Um, I think that's kind of all I got, man. Like, man, you got anything else?
No, I think I mentioned real quick that I don't really have a prediction. I have a hope. I
Yeah.
hope, I hope that they wake up Soldier Boy early on in the season, or give him a episode off or something. But man, because he was only in the show for like 4 episodes or 5 episodes, and man, he deserves more. He did a really good job, and
Yeah, but
and
his character is nuts. I think you have to kind of, and he's so traumatized and he can't control anything. Like, he just murders dozens and dozens of people constantly. So I
yeah,
think we'll see what happens. But as
yeah,
an actor, he's great. Oh,
yeah,
and shout out to Paul Reiser showing up for a couple episodes. That was awesome.
the legend.
He had so many funny lines. So many funny lines.
Dude, Paul Reiser in both this and Stranger Things.
Pretty crazy. All right. So that's The Boys season 3. Super excited for next year. Boys season 4. Ready to swap over for the other show?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, Stranger Things season 4. We talked about it already, but now we want to get into further spoilers, predictions, thoughts, and yeah, obviously spoilers. All right, man,
Yeah,
fire away. Stranger Things.
yeah, Stranger Things. I loved the season. I'm kind of on the first 2 episodes, and they were like for me of the season. There's a couple of things that happened, but after that, man, it was great. A highlight for me, one of the highlights
Yeah,
was with my man Steve and fighting off the bats. Man, I love that shit. That was like a culmination of like some intense shit going on, and the team becoming a team together and saving him and everything. So I really like that scene and and the visuals of that.
Yeah, this was a very team-oriented episode. We had, like, 3 mini teams out all, like, trying to whoop ass, and, like, they all got each other's back, and you're just, like, feeling it the whole time. You're like, "Yeah." The addition of Eddie Munson was, like,
Yeah,
at when they first showed him, like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
yeah,
And by the end of it, you're like, "Yeah!" And then by the end of it, you're like, "Eddie Munson
yeah, yeah,
going out."
yeah. It was good.
I'll go with Eddie. Part of me, I kinda nitpick. Did he really have to die? Like, does that really he accomplished what he needed to accomplish? Couldn't he just run back inside? Like, did they have to have him die?
Yeah, you don't know,
I
man. I don't know.
I thought it would have been cool if he didn't, but I get they want a hero, and if someone had to die, Eddie versus Steve, yeah,
Yeah,
keep Steve.
but yeah. Sorry to interrupt. It's just like the nitpick to me is like they bring these secondary characters on to kill. You know what I'm saying? They did it with
Yeah,
Bob. They did it
yeah,
with the brother, and I'm surprised that the girl lived, but she was getting ready. She's in a coma or whatever. But
yeah,
they were gonna kill her too. But
yeah.
they had to make this decision of what. It's gonna be devastating, but they gotta cut some fat off on the top four. You know
Sure,
what I'm
sure.
saying?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that's the nitpick is like you're bringing on these secondary characters that we love, and then you kill them. So
And it
let's.
took a while to really Eddie he kind of bugged me at first.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, this is kind of weird and a little whatever. But as it went further and further, you're like, all right, I get this guy. And then at the end of it, you're like, guy's cool.
Yeah,
He's handling the situation well. Because
yeah,
holy shit.
yeah,
Um, so one of my other let's just get into the top moments.
yeah,
We'll talk about some predictions. I, my biggest emotional thing was the episode where Max is getting possessed. I think it's called like Dear Billy. I think it was episode 6. Dude, I think I held my breath for like 8 minutes straight during that entire sequence. I was like not doing well. I'm like, they're gonna fucking kill her. This is it. And then the music comes up and she's fighting and she's like, fucking fuck you, Vecna. And she like gets the hell out of there. And that song comes up that they've been listening to the whole time, like the running up the hill. I got like I said, I held my breath for like 8 minutes. It was crazy. Sitting there like, and then they pull it out and they save her. I'm like, I thought she was dead.
yeah.
Like that was my favorite. Like emotionally, like highs and lows. Like fuck. Then she makes it out. I'm like, oh my god. Um, that was a moment for me.
I think for me, a moment was definitely the reveal, the Vecna reveal, and the one
Oh
reveal.
yeah,
That whole
yeah,
sequence, or like the
yeah.
last 10-15 minutes of that, because everything was so like interwoven and like going back and forth between being with Elle, with being with Nancy, with being with Mac, just going all over the place. It was
Yeah,
and they weaved it together so seamlessly. It was really cool to see.
and visually it was awesome.
Yeah,
Like damn.
yeah. All three
It's
worlds into one, but they're all separate. Weird.
yeah. Like there clearly is an end game to all this, and they're really putting in the work.
Yeah,
And that was cool.
yeah,
Another highlight for me, which was the shootout at the house. I I just love the fact that it seems so mundane with these two dudes. They're just sitting on the couch. They're trying to order pizza, and the kids are just kind of hiding. And they get a phone call or
yeah,
the doorbell rings, and you're just like, "Here's the pizza," and then all fucking hell breaks loose. And this dude who seems pretty worthless, just sitting there like babysitting kids, pulls out a handgun and like fights off a whole fucking army of people coming in, and he's
yeah,
saving the kids the whole time. Get behind me, get over
yeah,
there, stand here, go there, and it's all in one shot.
yeah,
And like the choreography for that whole thing, and at the end of the day, the dude doesn't make it, but he does his job. Like he protects the kids and gets them out of there and tells them like where to go next.
yeah,
That whole sequence, it's so good. Like
yeah.
I think I watched that sequence like 2 or 3 times.
No, it's crazy.
Like, and you don't see it coming. You're just kind of
No,
like,
because it's all like whatever.
doo. You're like dopey dopey doo, and then all hell breaks loose in one shot. You're like, holy shit!
And
I
that's
love
like the
that stuff.
best, dude. It's like
I love it,
it lulls you to sleep, and all of a sudden, like, hold on to your fucking shorts. Here we go.
dude. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
So that there was that one. Any other highlights? I got one more, but go ahead if you have
I
anything.
got I got a couple more, but I'm gonna the one I'll let you. I'm gonna do one, then you do your last one because I think we might have a similar one. But one
We'll
for
see.
me, another one for me is just the reunion, man, with Hop and L. Like I think like I wanted that from like the last season, like
Hmm.
I just wanted them to be there for each other, and man, it was such a good payoff when it happened. So just the reunion after everything that they went through, and then Hopper and Elle having that moment finally
Yeah.
after this crazy emotional roller coaster of a season, and man, it was well worth it. And
E Especially after Elle rejected Papa,
yeah,
like, in the desert, and then he was, like, trying he's like, "I love you, daughter," and she was like, "Later."
yeah,
And that was it. She didn't say shit to him, she's like,
yeah,
"Bye."
yeah, yeah, man. I'm just glad it worked out for them.
Um, Another okay, my I guess my I have 2-ish highlights. One quick shout out, the gladiator ring. I loved how that whole setup in the prison with gladiator shit.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah,
"What the fuck?" It was really cool, and then when they did it at the very end, when they lit him on fire, and Hopper was just like, "I've had enough of this shit," and he, like, grabs a sword and just cuts them all apart. I'm like, "Damn, that was cool."
yeah, that was cool.
But my other big one, it's kind of a slight nitpick, but it's also was really awesome. When Elle got her power back, she, like, lifted the water tank, which is a big deal.
Yeah,
And then he knocked her out. I'm like, you fucker. But really, I think a moment that was awesome that could have been 10 times more awesome is the helicopter outside the base when it was threatening her friends. If at that point she was motivated by saving her friends and she got all her powers concentrated at that one point to bring down the helicopter and like destroy this giant ball of fire where she's standing in front of it looked awesome. Like, why not wait until that point to get her powers back instead of right beforehand? Like that would have been like a crescendo for an amazing moment. Like I love that moment. Period. That she brought the helicopter down. And how they shot it with the giant fireball, and her sitting in front of him, like, dude, that shit was awesome. But if they had, I think if they had just waited and gave her powers at that moment would have been 10 times more powerful. But other than that, that's just a slight nitpick. But for an awesome moment, I loved it.
yeah. I think that's I like that moment too. I mean, it's a great moment. There's still so many great moments. Um, the last one that I had was the the Eddie solo and him sacrificing himself. I'm surprised he didn't go for that because your
I
boy
know.
was over there doing a
Yeah,
solo to your
yeah,
boy
yeah,
your boy band and Master of Puppets
yeah.
and dude that was sick, dude. And yeah, man, it was a real cool payoff because he's a
Oh,
metalhead, and finally
yeah,
they did
yeah,
that and stuff, and he sacrificed himself, and
yeah.
man, it was great.
That's on my list of stuff just to kind of mention and talk about is I didn't realize like I guess the show takes place during 1986, and that's when Master of Puppets came out. And they've never like you never they never alluded to it. You never saw any posters on the wall or shirts being worn or anything. So when they did, I was like, no. As soon as I heard the first like 3 bars, I'm like,
Ta-da!
no. Da, da, da. And I was like, they're not. And then he launches in. I'm like, oh, I almost jumped off the couch.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
I
was like,
can't believe they're doing this.
in the back of my head, I was like, damn, Andres needs to change his panties right now.
I was a little freaked out. Like I
I
couldn't
felt
believe,
you miles, hundreds of miles away. I felt you, like the little boy inside of you, like, oh man.
dude. And with that being said, like they rarely let their music be
Yeah,
used
that's
in anything
weird.
ever. They've used it for School of Rock, and I think in a documentary, and maybe one other thing once. But for the most part, they're really protective, and for good reason. You don't
Yeah,
want your shit in like a Snickers bar commercial or something. And when that happened, I was like, oh, and it wasn't just like a thing. It was like half the damn song. It just kept going and going
yeah,
and going and going.
yeah,
Like they had a giant sequence uh around it. And apparently the story goes that they talked to the band a long time ago. This is the only song they wanted to use. They had to go through clearances and they had to work with them.
yeah.
And then on top of that, I found out, all right, here we go, some spoilers. Not really spoilers. Fucking Saturday morning, and we watched it Friday night. The night it came out, thank goodness, because Saturday morning on Instagram, the bass player Robert Trujillo announced that he's so proud of his son who played the guitar track for them. Like, so they recorded and tracked the guitar song for it because they needed to sound like an actual person on playing guitar. So they got the bass player's son to play it.
Oh wow.
And I thought that was awesome. But this motherfucker, he posted a picture immediately, like Saturday morning. I'm like, dude, you couldn't wait a couple days? Like, if I had seen that before watching the episode, I would have been so pissed.
Damn, bro.
Like, that would have ruined, dude,
The moment.
just wait a couple days. Like, it
Yeah.
wouldn't fucking kill you. But so that kind of pissed me off. But thank goodness, for the first time ever, I didn't have an episode spoiled.
You were on the ball.
Yeah, so that was shitty, but I was good at that point. But dude, you gotta do better. But yeah, I love that moment. That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good.
And all right. Here's my little Metallica tidbit. They're on tour in Europe right now, and they post their set list on Instagram constantly. Like, it's just like, and they're like in Spain, Barcelona, blah 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 blah. Here's like the set list, and it's really cool. And I noticed, like, in the last like 3 or 4 weeks when they've been in Europe, they end all their the songs or the concert with Master of Puppets, which they never ever ever do. Like, I've for like decades and decades, I've seen set lists for decades. I listen to all their shit on YouTube because it's just fun listening to concerts while I'm working. They never ended it with Master of Puppets. They've been ending it with Master of Puppets for like the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm like, you cheeky fuckers! Like, they clearly knew what was going on,
Yeah.
and they kind of like did their own thing to kind of like, well, this song's gonna explode, so we're just gonna start ending our concerts with it, and then there you go.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Like,
Not a bad closer.
no, approved, undress approved.
Yeah.
All right, so now moving on to, I'd say predictions, but I'll talk about the ending real quick. This might have been one of the first seasons ever where they clearly set up like a season, the next season. Like, the other ones, they'll have like a flash or something in the background. And you're like, shit. That kind of pissed me off. Like, some of the episodes, how they defeat the monster, and then like right before the closing credits, there's like a flash and like in the mirror or something, you'll see a shadow. Like, oh, clearly they did not defeat the monster completely. But in this episode, they go full on. Uh, like, it just starts raining ash and fire, and you see the town basically like on fire. So shit is going to go down. They're going straight into it for season 5.
Yeah.
It's not like there's not going to be like a summer break. They're not going to be a vacation.
No, they're going
Like,
straight into it.
they're going straight into season 5, and which thankfully they announced it already, and they said that's the last season. So I'm like, dude, end it. That's good.
Yeah.
And with Vecna just kind of did the whole fell out the window and disappeared. Like, oh, come on. But since they already announced season 5, like, fine, all right, we know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. And it was kind of clear when he said, like, you've already lost, you know, when it's like, dude, it's gonna go down now for sure.
It was pretty nuts. And when the little portal opened, I guess, for the whole street,
Yeah.
and like that kid was like laying there, and it like cut him right in half, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, they're not messing around, dude. This whole season, that's like the biggest difference, I think, too, is like, I mean, the storytelling and all that, but man, they were, as far as like what they're showing us with violence and murder and all that stuff,
Oh yeah.
they stepped it
They
up
said
a notch.
the director said this season, well, like first season 1 was more like Goonies with some horror stuff thrown in. They said this season they were confident everyone was old enough to the point where this season was going to be Hellraiser meets Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
And they 100% did exactly that.
I wonder what they're gonna go next. Scarier than that.
I hope maybe Rambo. Is this gonna be a full on action?
Aliens.
I don't know.
Aliens and Predator.
Something, but it's gonna be awesome, dude.
I
And
hope so, too.
apparently, like the servers broke when they first started airing this show.
Yeah.
But, predictions. I mean, do you have any predictions?
No, man. I'm like blown away from the season, and I don't know what direction they're gonna go. I'm like, I thought that Will was gonna, you know, turn bad or
Yeah.
be, you know, sad and stuff, but they worked out that storyline really well, you know, with his brother coming to his rescue, basically, and be like, hey, you can talk to me whenever you want. And I love that storyline too. They did that really carefully.
Yeah. Yeah,
really
yeah,
carefully and really well done, really tasteful,
yeah.
and I appreciate them for that because that could have gone wrong in so many ways. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
And
It was.
the
I think
actor
that.
Will did a great job.
I think he's that dude's gonna have a career. I think if everyone, I think him and clearly Billy Bobby Brown already has a massive career.
Yeah,
Like those two, I think are gonna pull out of this like the most.
yeah,
I think Will's gonna have a huge role in the next season
yeah,
because he has his direct connection.
yeah,
Uh, Max, I think she'll be okay. She's gonna be hurt a lot, but I
yeah.
think she's gonna pull out
She's gonna be in a
okay.
wheelchair.
She's also an awesome actress, so
Yeah,
you gotta
right.
play to her strengths, man. She's great. They've adding her to the cast was phenomenally good
Yeah, I think
job.
Steve and Nancy might stay together, or I think, I mean, I hope they don't kill Steve. Please don't kill Steve. You know,
Ooh,
because he's kind of like the third wheel right now.
yeah,
But Nancy and the brother are having like rocky relationship right now. It's not really
yeah,
clear what
yeah.
direction they're gonna go with. So
They had no chemistry,
yeah,
but yeah, but we'll
but
see how it
Steve
goes.
has chemistry with everybody, dude. You put that guy
Yeah,
on anybody with a screen, and he's gonna find a way. Even with Eddie, like
yeah,
them teaming up together for that little bit, kind of like, because Eddie was like, oh, Steve, the guy, whatever, the douche, and he's like, oh, Steve's not that bad. And that guy, Steve, man, I think, I hope he has a career
I
because,
think he's gonna. He was really good in I almost called it Ready Player One
yeah,
for Free Guy. I think he was
yeah,
good in Free Guy. So
yeah, he was funny there.
I think he's got some stuff happening. Um, yeah. Any other final words? Stranger Things. I you know what I kind of hope. Season 5, 6 episodes, hour and a half each, done.
Yeah. I'm not even complaining about that. Dude, it's just like people are complaining about, oh, it was really long, but it was really good. I'm like, dude, you can't. I'm like, oh, that was short, but it was really good. Like, dude, just enjoy when it's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is,
Dude,
if it's
yeah.
good, it's good. It's better than having a 5 hour shit show. You know what I'm saying? Or a 10 hour
Yeah.
shit show, 20 hour shit show, whatever
And
it
to its
is.
credit, yeah, to its credit, I think we watched it on Friday and Christina, I think she woke up like early, 6ish. And we were on the couch, it's like 1ish, finishing it because it was that good.
Yeah,
Like we're powering through, like, no, we got it. This is awesome. This is the shit. This
yeah,
is what we're here for.
yeah. I read that the Duffer Brothers are aiming for 10 hours, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So 10 hours is the goal.
Across 6 episodes. We'll see.
What do you want in 6 episodes? An hour's not long enough.
I don't know, man. I think they just dial it in. I think dial it in.
Yeah, I hope they
For
don't do
some
the
reason.
split season.
No. We'll see. We'll see. But man,
Yeah,
whatever they do, I'm here for it.
yeah, me too.
Um, That's all I got, man. Loved it. I'm gonna watch it again, and I think I love the fact how they raised the stakes at the
Yeah,
end of the season. They're not they're not fucking around. They're like, we're going straight into the shit. Like we open the shit and we're diving straight in.
yeah,
Season 5, and we know exactly where we're headed.
yeah. I think I can rewatch it again from episode 4 on. Phew, let's ride out to the sunset.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
All right, man. I think we did good.
yeah.
Boys
Two
and Stranger Things.
two
Top
great
top of
shows.
the year.
Yeah,
Yeah. I got nothing else, man.
me either. I
I mean, there's
think we knocked it out of the park again.
the showrunners of these shows knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
Like, holy crap. Kudos to them.
yeah,
Well deserved break for everyone who worked on that shows because I know they were working on it like the last freaking minute.
yeah.
So that was fun talking to you about this shit. I think we'll leave it there.
Sounds good. If you guys have any questions or comments or theories or
Prediction.
predictions, let us know, man. We're interested to know what other people are thinking. Please let us know in the comments.
So I guess until next week, this is Andres.
And I'm Francisco.
And this has been Put on the List Reviews. So, all right, everyone, take it easy. Talk to you.